episode 134, BigRedBarel Geek Speak, your place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarel.com. I'm your host, Lauren, the badass of Borderlands, and with me as always is the Baroness of Butts, Amra Santi Alex.
The good butts.
And the jaunty jubilant juggernaut of Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright.
Kicking off with our Overwatch time waster of the week.
Yes.
We haven't spoken about Overwatch in like 2 weeks. It's about goddamn time.
This is quite an interesting one though. It's like it's from last year, but I only saw it this week. And so essentially what it is, it's a video. I can't remember the name of the channel now, but obviously you can look at the link in the show notes and stuff.
Or, look at the agenda. It says extra frames.
Oh, it does. You're correct. That's me not reading properly. Reading.
I thought it was just like a special feature type thing. Extra frames, like extras. I didn't realise that was the name of the channel.
So this video basically looks at the animation in Overwatch, specifically the first person animation, so the what you see basically when you're playing the game, in terms of your character, and how they convey a lot of character for each individual hero through little animation touches. And it's really, really interesting. Anyone that's kind of interested in game development and how they use things like animation to put character and story across, definitely watch this video. It's really, really fascinating. Yeah, all about basically the best animation in the business kind of thing. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing you don't think about it until someone tells you.
Yeah.
Overwatch has everything is completely custom animated because every character is so different and they all have different mimics. It's not just like the voice and the lines they say and the whatever backstory they come up with, but there's a lot of story in how they reload a gun. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Or how they move their hand to attack or something like that. So there's a lot of that in there, and it's just fascinating to go over it. And
it's so cool. It's really cool. Like, little things like how McCree reloads compared to how, like, Zenyatta reloads.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. And how, I mean, that's why, Overwatch is such an incredible game, and Blizzard are just, like, the best in the business, because they've put so much attention to detail in these tiny little things that a lot of other shooters wouldn't even be that fussed about. I mean, you look at, like, Call of Duty, there's no character in that animation at all, in the first person animation. It's just very military, shooty, which of course is what it's meant to be. But then Overwatch is a game all about these heroes and their characters, and they've really worked hard to get that across in the little first person animations. So yeah, I just thought it was really, really interesting. So yeah, people check it out.
Definitely. Really cool video.
Okay, so we've got a lot of news this week. Detroit developer Quantic Dreams sues French media over articles on toxic work conditions. So Quantic Dreams really do not want any bad press over the next month or two, as Detroit is finally coming out.
Yes!
Super jazzed for this, but go on now.
This is following, so there were three French outlets that sort of got together and wrote this report about sexist jokes and like excessive crunch and racist comments that were happening in Quantic Dreams. That was a while ago now. And some of the stuff, they were like, they had crazy photoshops. They photoshopped people who worked in Quantic Dreams with like nasty swastikas and like really bad, like really stupid stuff, and put it all up. So that was like a big part of it. And at the time, I think all of us kind of laughed at David Cage's response to this, who was, I don't know if you remember it, he was like, I'm not racist, I worked with this black actor, I'm not sexist, I worked with Ellen Page, or something like that. Like, they're really, love their games, but a really, really stupid defense. Yeah, and after that he said, we'll sue, and I don't think anyone thought anything of it. They were like, yeah, sure, of course, they all say they sue, and then they actually sued. And I think what's really funny, so this is the story that was broken by Kotaku, by Jason Schreier, and it was broken completely by accident because he was in France doing some publishing work related to his book that is either coming or just came out, or I'm not entirely sure. And he was meeting with some of the journalists from Le Monde, and they cancelled on him, and he found out that they're in court. And he put kind of two together, people who reported previously, their names, and they happened to have another person in Kotaku just in America speaking next to David Cage, and so they just asked him straight up, are you suing the journalist? And he was like, yeah, before all the PR people were like, no, shh, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a really weird situation, and I don't know, it's pretty unprecedented for game studios to sue journalism. I don't think there has been except for, I guess, James Sterling case recently, where he was sued by this digital homicide for his whatever coverage of their game.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't actually know of any suits of any of game media being sued for what they said for their investigative work.
I don't know anything about. Was it Jim Sterling? Did you say you got sued?
Yeah.
I don't know anything much about that, but I gotta say I do not like Jim Sterling at all. I think he's dreadful.
Yeah, even if you don't like him, he was being sued for his opinion, basically.
So what's the detail on that? What was the story?
So he posted an unfavorable review, made his usual quips like he does in his videos. And Digital Homicide took a lot of offense to it and decided to sue him, saying that his comments cost them like revenue, and they were suing for the value of that revenue.
Oh, right.
But the value of that revenue was ridiculous. I can't remember, but it was in millions, and it was like, there's no
they were
way
like
this
millions.
really crappy looking game would have earned you this much money. Like, but it was the whole story that before they sued, he did they got really upset, so he did an interview with them where he actually tried to talk sense. That interview, if you can find it on YouTube, by the way, it's freaking hilarious, because you can see that one of the person from Digital Homicide is just really, I don't want to say he's really doesn't really understand what he's trying to do. Or he understands but does it really badly. But like, you have to be really very much an idiot to think that what you're saying is gonna fly. That kind of stuff.
Right.
But anyway, that's the Jim Sterling story. But
I see.
Honestly, I think if anyone's listening really interested, Jim Sterling actually did like a whole video after the suit has been dissolved, summarizing all of that. So
Yeah.
I can find it out and put it in the show notes for anyone who's interested about that suit. But yes, the suit. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, Quantic Dream have every right to defend their reputation. It's very important for a developer to look after their reputation, because obviously it affects not just game sales, but the longevity of the studio. Things like, will people want to work with us in the future? Will publishers want to work with us? Obviously they're Sony owned, so they kind of have that nice umbrella. But, if there's obviously no merit in a lot of these accusations, then they're right to sue. I mean, I can imagine that a lot of this is coming down to them trying to protect their image as much as possible. But also, there's another point of view that suggests if they just let it go away, then that would be better, because this is all dragging it back up again.
I know, but I think they didn't. At least to an extent, they didn't want to make it public, because this was found out by such a ridiculous accident that they weren't really trying to drug it up. They weren't
That's
of
true.
advertising that they were suing them so much.
Yeah, it's not like they were doing press releases going, by the way, everybody, we're suing you guys.
yeah. Look, the crazy thing about it is it's really hard to discuss because, well, this is all allegedly. We can't know whether it's true. Like, from what I understand, actually, one of the French publishers did have those photoshops, but then, like, the whole suing business is really complicated, because they're not just suing them for saying that what the media said was untrue, they are also suing them for not giving them the adequate time to respond, the studio adequate time to respond. So there's a whole, like, complicated layer, and look, French law works different to law here or to law in America, and I don't know that much about law, except if you want to talk about immigration law, but hey, let's leave that to the side. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to determine at this point, but I'm just really curious how this is gonna go.
Yeah, it is quite fascinating. We'll see. We shall see.
Yes.
Okay, so next nice thing. Valve buys
Is
Firewatch
this nice
developer.
though?
Yeah, I'm
Is
not
it?
sure it's nice.
No? Because the guys who work at Campo I've spoken to, and they seem pretty happy about it.
For now.
Yeah.
This
For
is
now.
Valve buying Firewatch, so two sides of the story, I guess. So I think it's really nice for Campo Santo guys, because now they are swimming in money. They are employees of Valve who are printing money, because they got Steam and blah blah blah. They got to immediately as they were bought out, they got to go in the corporate holiday, I can't remember to where, I think to Hawaii, which was also very nice. So
Nice.
for the moment, I think it's nice for them financially. It obviously gives them a certain level of security. The backing of Valve for the Volley of the Gods that they're going to continue making is obviously going to be great. However, in the long term, I'm not entirely sure this is good news. And Joe, you can take it away here.
Yeah, I have some big concerns here. That one of the most wonderful things about Campo Santo was their really individual sense of style and tone and character, and also that they were truly independent. And now, being swallowed up by something like Valve, I do worry that in time, it can be quite unavoidable when a smaller developer is sort of swallowed up by a big company like this, that they're going to lose a lot of that identity, because they have to play a little bit by Valve's rules. They won't be able to just make whatever they want to make, because it will have to fit into what Valve think they want to release. And, In the Valley of Gods is still being made, which is great. That's not being scrubbed. They're still carrying on with it. But what worries me is I feel like they're going to lose a lot of that wonderful independent spirit that was so evident in Firewatch. Like, Firewatch could not have come from a big studio.
No.
The kind of game it is, there's no way it would have got through a lot of early sort of shareholder type discussions. They'd have been like, oh, it's a first person, like, walking around exploration game where you're like some old dude, pass. And it would never have been
chubby
made.
Dude, pass.
Yeah, what? Oh no. And you just talk to people like on the radio, and there's no shooting or anything, forget it. This does worry me a lot. Like, I feel if someone like Sony, for example, had bought them, I'd probably be slightly less concerned, because Sony have more of a repertoire of supporting that kind of developer. But Valve, not so sure. Hopefully I'm proved totally wrong and they have a long and fruitful and wonderful creative partnership. But I feel like the creativity will slowly be sucked away from Campo Santo, which is very sad, because they're one of the greatest and most interesting independent developers of the last few years. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, after Firewatch, they immediately became one of my favorite indie developers ever. And you guys
definitely
all know how much I've been looking forward to the Valley of the Gods, because I love Firewatch so much, and just Campo Santo was a standout, and as you said, their spirit and their individual character stood out so immediately that you could tell this is Campo Santo. And as always, joining a big corporate world, that sort of gets sucked away, and maybe it's going to be good for the Valley of the Gods. Well, I'm not sure what point they are in the game, and, I'm sure the finances, as I said previously, would help the game to be better. But they're now in place of Valve. What stops Valve from saying, oh, well, the Valley of the God comes out, but then you do this all other work that is not related to making games at all? Like, you don't know, or separating them all. This is one of the great things about Firewatch, was working with the graphic designer, Ollie Moss.
Ollie Moss, I mean, not Ollie Murs.
Sorry, Ollie Moss. Guys, I'm gonna apologize, because it's been happening for a couple of weeks now, but I've got some crazy allergy that makes my voice sound like this.
It's very sexy. It's kind of like a husky. You can make it work. Kind of like, Jessica Rabbit type voice. You gotta just work with it.
I'm trying my best, but yes, I'm very sorry about that. Maybe at some point the stupid allergy will go away and I'll be able to breathe like a normal person. But
normal's overrated.
I'm on board with Alex with this. I think in the short term, it'll be great that they have this cash injection and they can put it towards in the Valley of the Gods. But long term, we'll have to wait and see and hope for the best. But the cynic in me immediately was a bit like, oh, what? When I heard this news.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, it's always kind of nice for indies when they don't have to worry for their survival. Because I think for indies, part of the time you always think, oh my god, is our next project gonna bring us enough money? Can we find more funding? Can we There's always that type of situations. You're always happy when they feel stable, which in this case they do. However, I also think I always prefer them to be individual. Like, I always, when there is a really standout game from a really standout studio, I just want them to stay in charge of themselves.
Yeah.
As much as they possibly can, because individual spirit and individual point of view is always going to trump the corporate point of view, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Cool. Right. So George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood will be released soon. Winds of Winter and spin-off update.
Yay, this is funny. This is so
Go on.
funny.
So I saw a really funny tweet on this just before you dive into the news that
Yes,
essentially
go for
said J.R.R. Tolkien has released more books in the last few years than George R. R. Martin did, and he's been dead for 50 years. So
Well, look, to be fair, I think he's releasing books. He's just releasing not the books that everyone wants him to release, which everyone wants the Winds of Winter, the next installment in the Game of Thrones series, or the Fire and Ice series, to be correctly.
at this point, though, isn't he just doing the novelization of the TV series?
Well, to be fair, they are very different. They're so different at this point.
I've not read the book, so I can't possibly comment. But yeah, I'm just.
There are characters and
funny.
plots and subplots. Look, I think this is where one of his problems is that they've gotten so dense with characters and plots and subplots and different agendas and where everyone is going. That bringing them all together is a literal headache that I can't believe he'll able to face.
Oh, it must be incredibly stressful trying to write this book. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And also, he has the impossible weight of expectation. Like, there's no way he's going to be able to match up to everyone's expectations for this. Like, so I can understand him almost like not wanting to do it. You know?
Yeah, no, of course. When the Dance with Dragons, which was the previous book that was coming out, it took him forever to finish this one too, and so was so same with Winds of Winter. So it's basically the new season, so coming 2018. However, what Martin has written in the meantime is 2 volumes, 1,000 pages each, on House Targaryen history, which is what the Fire and Blood novels are. So there's the first volume that's going to come out, that's going to cover Targaryen history to a certain point, and then there's going to be a second one that's going to come out. Now, as much as I am sort of rolling my eyes at this, guess what? Still gonna buy it! Still gonna read it. Not even gonna lie. Still gonna happen. And especially since they're gonna be beautifully illustrated. I don't know if people read or bought A Night of Seven Kingdoms, which is funnily enough also happened during the period of Targaryen reign and includes a Targaryen, but it's about Duncan Egg. They're like a knight and his squire basically traveling from the country doing stuff. But this book had beautiful illustrations, and so it's going to be Fire and Blood by artist Doug Whitley. And of course, following that, can't remember, there's like 5 or ridiculous number of spin-offs that HBO is developing post Game of Thrones. And so essentially, as soon as Martin announced the news about Fire and Blood, everyone went, "He's not going to be one of the spin-offs. He's not going to be one of the spin-offs." And he's like, "Can't tell ya, don't ask." So that's the spin-off news.
The spin-off news is there's no spin-off news.
Yeah, so they're still deciding on which spin-off to spin off. Does that
Fair
make sense?
enough.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'll read Fire and Blood. I'll let you know how Targaryens are doing. I'm pretty sure that most of them are dead, but, there were dragons, so...
Yeah, dragons!
Okay, so Star Wars Resistance anime-inspired TV series has been announced. I didn't actually know this.
This is
I'm
a
so down
weird
for this.
one, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's very under the radar, actually. Okay, the short story of it is that I think it's sort of made by Dave Filoni, who I'm not entirely sure who he is.
No.
But Disney Channel ordered it, and it's set in the prior events of The Force Awakens. There's going to be voices of Oscar Isaacs and Gwendolyn Christie. That's about all we know at this point.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty much all we get, and a little picture showing sort of the animation style, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But
So
hey,
is it just like full-on like anime kind of style-y?
yeah, I think it's a little bit anime inspired, but it's hard to tell from just little BB-8 because you kind of need to see the faces of people to know exactly what side of the anime it actually falls on.
It's quite cool that Gwendolyn Christie is involved. That means obviously we'll get a bit more of Captain Phasma stuff. And Captain Phasma is awesome, and I want more Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
She didn't get the time she deserved in the other movies. Yeah, she needed more.
Imagine if this is where we get our Snoke prequel and we'll be like,
Yeah.
Snoke. Oh, God. No more Snoke. Give us more Phasma. Alright, now we've got a full Venom trailer. How are you guys feeling about this?
I can't decide.
Yeah.
meh.
I think I'm going to see it, but it's just like, I'm not sure about his accent.
I can't decide. Like, I think it looks interesting. Like, I actually one of the first things that jumped out at me, which is weird for a film like this, was the style of the cinematography. It looks really nicely shot, which usually they're very serviceable, like superhero movies. They're not, like, you look at Thor Ragnarok and that was shot beautifully, but a lot of them are just kind of by the numbers. But then I looked at this and I actually thought, you know what, they actually look like they've thought about this a little bit. And I really like the cast. It's got a really, really good cast. Like, Tom Hardy is always excellent value. Michelle Williams, great. And a bunch of other really, really cool people. And I like that they've not messed around with the look of Venom too much. Like, from the shot we see at the end of the trailer, it looks like Venom. It's really hard to tell. I just hope... I have a horrible nagging suspicion that they might have gone too jokey with the tone, like a bit too sort of like tongue-in-cheek, sort of little few too many one-liners maybe. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm really on the fence with this.
So here's my curiosity, and now this knowledge kind of basically comes from Spider-Man cartoons, so it could possibly be wrong, but to me, Venom has a really close relationship to Spider-Man, and I'm not sure the Spider-Man is in this movie, or isn't his look basically based because Spider-Man exists? So I'm trying to understand how this two works together without... Maybe they haven't showed us that Tom Holland is there, but this is not very Marvel-looking, MCU-looking.
No, it's definitely...
movie.
It's more Sony style than Marvel style.
Exactly. So I'm very confused about the relationship there and how that corresponds there, how that's gonna, how that's gonna get resolved, and how Venom could go by itself without Spider-Man.
As far as I'm aware, obviously I'm not like an enormous font of knowledge of like Marvel heroes and stuff, but from what I can remember, Spider-Man becomes infected with the symbiote, but it's brought back to Earth by Eddie Brock, who's an astronaut. And so I think this story will cover the symbiote before it meets Spider-Man. So what you might get is they might do like an end credits teaser with Spider-Man encountering the symbiote or something.
Maybe.
But I don't know. To be honest, I'm not an expert at all. So maybe someone out there with lots of Spider-Man knowledge can sort of fill in the gaps and tell us what they think this movie's going to do.
I'm going to interject because my knowledge from watching cartoons back in the day is Eddie Brock is a journalist who was a rival for Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's how... I think in the comics he was an astronaut. I think. And then they switched it around. I'm not sure. Like,
see,
I don't know.
I thought he was like his college buddy.
Who knows? Bloody hell.
Oh,
please, listeners, write in.
When you were talking, I was like, I thought he was a journalist. And it's like, I know he is in the movie, so I just checked it. And I've got, in the original version of the story, Eddie Brock is a journalist who exposes the identity of a serial killer, only for the real killer to be caught by Spider-Man. Thus, he accused the wrong man. Disgraced and suicidal, he comes into contact with the alien symbiote, rejected by Peter Parker, and he bonds with them, and they become Venom, seeking out revenge against their mutual enemy, who is Spider-Man.
Because they are definitely extraterrestrial, and I'm trying to remember how they...
Yes.
Yeah, they did come down via astronauts. I don't know if
and they're
they
tied in with
hitch a ride.
Silver Surfer, apparently. Ooh.
Yeah. And there's a version of the story where there's like it's split into 5 and put into 5 like mercenaries, and then there's a version of the story where there's like after that one it bonds with Deadpool, but Deadpool's too crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, so I like that story.
It's so complicated. Who knows then, basically? It's anyone's guess what the film is going to do.
Yeah. So I don't think it's got the whole angle of Eddie, like, picking the wrong murderer, the symbiote being rejected by Spider-Man. I think it's just going, like, evil corporation got the symbiote, it found Eddie Brock when he was there and decided to merge with him.
There's definitely an astronaut somewhere.
Oh, no, the astronaut would have brought it down.
Oh, I can't bloody remember now. Honestly. Oh, it's just... my brain. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. But
look, hope's high, but cynical me is like, nah.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm sort of beyond peak superhero at the moment. I find it quite hard to get excited about superhero movies. Like we're seeing Infinity War in a couple of days, and
in a couple of hours.
I'm not like I'm excited to see it, but I'm not like super hyped, if that makes sense. I'm more excited about The Meg.
Oh my god.
And obviously Jurassic World. So maybe that has more to do big monsters, and that's what I love. But I just, I don't know, maybe I'm having a little superhero lull at the moment, and soon I'll be excited about superheroes again.
You know what you need to do?
What's that?
You need to rewatch Thor Ragnarok, because that brings it all right up.
Yeah.
That is a great movie, yeah. I do love Thor Ragnarok.
It gives you the cheer and the love
Shut
for
up,
our
Ghost.
man Taika.
Oh, Tiger's back. I was looking at the Infinity Wars like red carpet, and I was looking through. It's like, where is he? Where is he? I need to see his outfit, and he wasn't there.
Taika is wonderful, but if he screws Akira, I'm gonna
He's not doing
fall out of
Akira.
love with
He's
him.
doing this weird Jojo Rabbit Nazi
No,
thing.
apparently he's still potentially doing Akira.
Ooh,
Apparently,
Akira.
that's still on the cards for maybe after this weird thing he's doing
look,
first.
if he is doing Akira, I'm gonna warn you, it's not gonna be Akira that you expect. It's gonna be Taika's take on Akira's story.
Yeah, he just shouldn't do it. Nobody should do it. Just leave it alone. Just don't do it.
Yes,
Don't do
I
it.
think so too, but,
Put it away and
Curiosity.
never look again.
kill the cat. In this case, it may kill Akira.
Okay, but something that hopefully we're all excited for is Strange Things Season 3. Netflix confirms start of production with a teaser video.
This is exciting.
Woohoo!
So-
I mean, we knew it was happening anyway. We knew they were making seasons 3 and season 4. So, but yeah, I saw a picture on Twitter that Millie Bobby Brown tweeted out of her and Hop, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, because she posted it like father and daughter type thing, and I was like,
All
and,
the feels.
My heart kind of exploded a little bit. So I'm obviously extremely hyped for Stranger Things 3. That's just wicked. I heard it's going to be set in the 90s now. Which will just be hilarious. Like, how are they going to interpret like grunge? Well, it'll be things like Nirvana and that, won't it? It'll be amazing.
It'll be early 90s stuff.
It'll be so good.
Oh my
It'll
god.
be so good. Like, can you imagine? Like, they'll all get really excited about things like Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Oh,
It'll be brilliant.
My god.
So yeah, I'm obviously totally on board for that. We'll
yeah.
see.
Joe, let's be honest, this is just another excuse for you to bring up dinos.
I don't need an excuse.
That is also fair.
I could talk about dinosaurs all day.
Anyway, moving on to the meat of the show, we have some things we did and watched and played this week. So there was a big announcement this week in the form of Shadow the Tomb Raider with the launch trailer coming out on...
That trailer's hilarious.
Yeah?
I mean, it's a really nice trailer, but good lord, she's really quite comfortable with all the mass murder now.
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
she? Like, she's
loving
not
it.
fussed at all. She's just like, yeah, stab you in the back, cut your throat, smash you around the face. Oh, all right then. So, yeah.
No
good on her.
hesitation. Stabby,
Yeah,
stabby.
She's not fussed.
I got to play an hour of it this week.
Cool.
So it was just after, it's set like a bit after the beginning of the game. You're in a South American, I'm not actually quite sure what country you're in, but you're in a little village, and it's around the time of Dia de la Muerte, and you are stalking one of the guys from Trinity, the big evil conglomerate who wants to mess stuff up, and you're trying to find this temple that he reckons he's found, and you're going through trying to be stealthy, trying to hide with literally just a skull mask on your face, and stealth through different areas to find the aforementioned tomb, and everything goes wrong. You
Of
just
course.
mess everything
Of
up.
course.
You're a naive little bit because you're in your early 20s. You shouldn't be there. You need adult supervision. Don't go touching stuff. Belongs in a museum. But the gameplay is good. It's very slick. We had a few glitches in the game, but again, it was a demo build on Xbox dev kits.
Gross.
Yeah, so we had to use Xbox One controllers.
I hope you cleaned your
Painful.
hands afterwards.
Oh yeah, run them under boiling water and
See,
bleach.
I have to use an Xbox controller every day at work, and it's fine. Like, it's perfectly fine. But every time I'm like, ugh.
I feel so dirty. But it is really enjoyable. I don't like the shooting sections in any games like this, like Uncharted games, Tomb Raider games. I don't get on with the shooting sections. They're just not my cup of tea. But everything else, like the puzzle solving, the climbing, the jumping through and moving through bits, that's always fun. But there seem to be a lot of just random, I'm using air quotes here, cutscenes, which aren't really cutscenes.
Oh, okay. Little intermittent scenes.
Yeah, where they just take the controls off you, and this section where am I walking? Or are they taking it off me again? Oh, no, they're taking it off me. Oh, I'm meant to walk now? Oh, no, I'm dead because I didn't know I was meant to walk. Great.
It was quite interesting. Like, I saw a few like little mini articles about this after kind of people played, and quite a few people are quite disappointed with it.
Oh,
At the moment, sort of saying that they expected a lot more and that actually it feels a bit redundant. But I don't know. I mean, gosh, it's a really early demo. Hopefully, that's just an initial kind of thing, and they've still got lots to do. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I really love the Tomb Raider games, and the reboots have been really, really good. And there's no weird exclusivity thing with this one, so everyone should be able to play it at the same time.
Yeah, it's not everything. Like the demo is pretty slow. It's not like massive kind of like jaw-dropping stuff. There's a little stealth section at the start where you just kill everyone. There's a traversal section. Then you have to like solve how you're going to get to the top of the temple using pulleys and levers and other stuff. Then there's the shooty section, and then there's I think the end section is the most interesting, and I think a lot of people didn't get to that section.
Okay.
I played it in the morning, and then I was showing it to all the journalists throughout the day. And a lot of people, they took their time, wandered around, and they had an hour session for playing the game. And they have a look, so they waste the time a little bit by just pootling about, which is nice. Like, I get that you want to see all the little different areas of the game, you want to pull up the little different bits, but a lot of people didn't get to the final area. Which, after the shooty, there's a tsunami.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, there's an underwater bit early on where you're, like, kind of trained to do all the swimming bit, and then that's used in the tsunami section.
Underwater stuff, no!
Yep.
Scary.
So, in comparison to the previous games, they've actually added some more kind of dynamic stuff to the underwater sections, where you have to like speed up, slow down your swimming.
Oh god,
dive.
there's going to be sharks and stuff. Sean's going to hate it.
Like there is a, again, air quote, jump scare where you get grabbed by a moray eel. And I just sat there and went, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't swim out that far to grab someone. They don't do that. Yeah, so there's sections where you have to like traverse underwater areas. You have to actually kind of plan out your breathing, make sure that you've got enough kind of stamina to get through and you don't like burn out all your breath by swimming quickly before the next kind of breathing hole. So there's a bit more strategy with the swimming and a bit more to explore underwater.
Did you just say breathing hole?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to plan out like where the breathing holes are, like the little
funny.
air pockets. I wasn't only about your mouth.
No, I know, it's just funny.
Yeah,
It's funny.
it's where our mind went. I can't speak. It's where our mind went when you said it.
Yeah, I immediately was like, what? Breathing hole? I think we found the title for the podcast.
Find your
Where are
breathing
the
hole.
breathing holes?
Well, I enjoyed it.
Cool.
The event looked really, really cool. So they took over Welsh Chapel on Shaftesbury Avenue, which is this big, empty old chapel. Admittedly, when I was playing the game, bits of the ceiling were just falling on me. So I was like, that's a bit worrying. Yeah, that was in the basement. I wasn't in the basement. But they, the entrance walkway was, I'm going to, put some pictures on Twitter, was done up like a shrine for Dia de la Muerte. And there's,
nice.
Skulls, there's, flowers, neon lights, there's, candelas painted on the walls, sugar skulls. It looked amazing. It looks so good. Check it out when it comes out. If you can get the demo, have a go at the demo.
I think it's September, I think.
Yeah,
End
it's
of
September 14th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not actually
So
too long.
we should see a lot more stuff at E3, I reckon, for that.
Oh,
then.
definitely.
Well, yeah, for someone who's going to E3, it's good enough.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, no, got my flights booked and everything this week, so yes, I shall be there. But I'm going to be working, so, I might not have much time to go and look at things, but yeah, I shall try.
But something you've had time to do is watch Rampage.
Rampage, finally. Yeah, obviously this is a little bit after the fact because it's been out for weeks now. But I just wanted to very quickly touch upon it because, of course, it's Rampage. And it's super fun. I really enjoyed it. It knows what it is. It knows that it's a big, dumb, stupid movie with The Rock and a giant gorilla and other giant animals, and it behaves exactly like that. And it's really stupid, but really, really fun. And I really enjoyed it. It's quite violent. It really is quite violent. And there's quite a bit of swearing and stuff in it, which took me by surprise. But that's fine. And and one of the funniest things about it was there's a lot of convenient helicopters.
Gotta love a convenient helicopter.
Yeah, there's one point in particular, it's not really a spoiler, where he kind of just turns around, he's like, yeah, that's what I need. And there's just like a pristine helicopter just stood there in the rubble, essentially. And you're like, yep, this film is dumb, but it's fine. And it looks great. The monsters are really cool. And the little relationship between The Rock and George, the giant gorilla, is actually really well done. And it's quite sweet. So I really enjoyed it. So if you like big, silly monster movies and it's still playing near you, then definitely go and see it. It's a laugh.
God damn it, I was going to watch it for this week and then stupid deadlines came along, but I was really looking forward to that one now.
Yeah, it is really fun. It's definitely worth seeing.
Fantastic. And something else you've watched this week and Alex has watched as well.
Well, Westworld's back. Westworld!
Yeah.
You know why I've watched? The sole reason, like, I haven't seen the first season of Westworld until like a week ago. The whole
really?
reason
You didn't watch it at the time?
I watched Westworld is because Sir Anthony Hopkins is a national treasure. He's creepy and he's amazing on Twitter. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then what are you doing with your life?
Yeah,
What has he done?
that was quite scary. I remember I had a bit of a weird night where I couldn't sleep very well, and so I was just scrolling through Twitter, and that's when I saw that, and I was like, well, that's going to help. That's going to help loads. Thanks.
What did
Thanks,
you do?
Anthony.
Just go, look, it's, you can't describe it. Just go on Twitter, search for Anthony Hopkins, go on his Twitter page, and you will see a little video, and you will know.
Yeah, there's really
Crazy
no describing
Welshman.
it. But it was fabulous.
Oh,
That's
God,
why
it was
he is
so
a national
great.
treasure.
He is.
But he was great in Westworld. He's one of the best things about it. Spoilers, he's not in season 2.
Well, he's in the form. He is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, kinda. But it's really cool. I really enjoyed this first episode. I think it's done quite a difficult job of sort of filling in a few gaps from where season 1 ended, but also opening up a few new mysteries that we'll be exploring throughout this new season.
Yeah.
And of course, the performances are really great. Like Dolores, who's the actress name I can never remember.
Evan Rachel
I
Wood.
love her.
That's it, Evan Rachel Wood. She's great, and Sandy Newton. Yeah, Sandy Newton.
Yeah.
She's great too, and it looks great. Obviously, like some of the design, there's some really creepy new sort of robot types that they've introduced, which I liked a lot. And it's great. If you liked Westworld season 1, you'll like season 2 so far. I mean, what's difficult here is I don't want to discuss it much because of spoilers and stuff. Because it's that kind of show, you really don't want to know anything.
I mean, what I'm worried about, in a sense, is that they're going to be moving. What I always liked, what I really liked about season 1 is sort of dynamic between this corporate espionage stuff in the actual Westworld real, place where they work, and the combination of the sort of fantastical, magical Wild West setting, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm interested about is obviously, I think you can kind of get, like, this is an obvious progression that at some point they're gonna get beyond the Westworld. Oh, the Westworld?
Yes, there were a few hints for potential other kind of worlds within
Delos, so what they're gonna do, like, next, because it's so much about the Wild West that I don't really want them to move away from that, but at some point they're gonna run out of stuff to do in there. They'll have to move on just in terms of where the story goes and where the characters go.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
Al, have you seen the movie? So at the start of the movie, I can't remember if they did at the start of Westworld, because I only saw like the first half of season 1, but they mentioned about the different worlds, like created by them.
It is mentioned in season 1, like in passing, but not to any specifics.
Okay.
So, like the film, sort of as you get into the last third of the film, you start seeing some of these other worlds.
Yeah.
And I think as season 2 goes on, we'll start seeing some of the other worlds. So,
but yes, without going into crazy spoilers, that's all we can say.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I really need to catch up on it, but there's just so many good things to watch at the minute.
There are too many good things. Like, yes.
Yeah,
it's difficult. Like Legion is back. Have people been watching Legion?
Excuse me, the best show of the year, The Expanse season 3 is back, and I can't even watch it because I'm too goddamn busy.
I keep being told to watch The 100 because apparently season 5 is basically Fallout. I need to start watching season 2 of Legion because it was amazing. So
yeah,
good.
it was quite good.
I've just
yeah.
found a new season on a new series of things on Netflix, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, which I freaking love, and I've only seen 2 episodes. It's amazing. But I'm going to talk about a little game I played yesterday called Laser League. Either of you heard of it?
I've heard of it, not played it.
Yeah, it's on a Greenlight at the minute, or it was on Greenlight. It was put on Greenlight.
Wait, is this the game where there are different configurations of lasers and you kind of have to move, survive, or push people? Is that what I'm thinking?
So you've got you're top down looking at like kind of a sport field.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you're in 2 teams, up to 4 players on each team, and you have to switch on these lasers to claim ownership of them, and these lasers will destroy the other team if they run into it. You have special abilities and powers which will help you with that. So like there was the ghost one where you can have a power up and you can run through the enemy's lasers for a certain amount of time. There is your sniper one, which obviously snipes. There's like your kind of bashy one where someone has a shield and they do a bash and stuns the other players. There's, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Shock. It was Shock where you have like an EMP type thing which will knock out the other players, and then you have these different kind of modifiers to either extend the duration or various other things. They've brought out a bunch of new maps and a bunch of new kind of skills that are coming out in the next couple of months with the full game, and I got to go to Yuki yesterday and play it with the developers, which was really nice. Some of the new maps are based on different areas. So I played one that is based in Sao Paulo, and one which is their idea for post-Brexit kind of Britain, where everyone lives on an island. And it was just a bit weird. But the configurations of the lasers were like the real reason. So each map has a different kind of set of configurations for the lasers. So there was one which was like the star shape, which was completely brutal if you played it the right way. So at certain points during the match, you get different kind of perks which appear on the field. So you could get the laser beams to kind of divide, so they're kind of segmented. You can get them to move faster. You can get them to switch. So like all the blue team ones can now become the yellow teams, that kind of thing. But the best one is extend. So they were on this star map. If you get the extend one, a starburst kind of happens in the middle, depending on whoever got that power up. And if you've managed to like get domination of most of the lasers, just by hitting that power up, you can destroy the other team in a matter of seconds. It's freaking brutal. And then on the UK one, there was a Pac-Man level, and then there was one just called Jennifer, because they couldn't decide what the name was, so they just called it like, what do we name it? Jennifer. So okay. Really, really fun party game. You can play online. There's matchmaking and everything, but you can do local co-op up to 4v4. We did 3v3, and if you don't have that many players, if you've got like 5, you can pop an AI onto one of the teams. That's absolutely fine. I really enjoyed it. It's not something I would go out and buy myself, but like if it was in like loading or somewhere, or if I was like around a mate's house and they had it, I'd happily play for like an hour or so. It's like that kind of just a bit of a chill party game, bit of fun. I did keep losing my character, because the icons just above the characters saying like your numbers, because like I was number 1, you didn't get like a name above it, you just had to keep an eye on your number. I kept losing it, so I kept thinking I was doing really well, but really I was dead down in the corner. So that was a slight issue, but overall pretty fun. Check it out if you can and you like that kind of matchy kind of game.
Yeah, the publisher for this game is 505 Games, so way back when, I can't remember, like a long time ago now, when I went to check out The Last Day of June, who are published by the same publisher, they also showed me the Laser League, and I do recommend people just Googling and seeing how it looks, because I think it's really hard.
It looks really cool.
It looks really cool. But you also, I don't think you get it until you see those lasers at work. Like, you really have to watch it and see it. When you see how they work, and that's like a mixture of sort of a puzzle with a party game and stuff like that, that when you see it, you get it, you're like, oh, right, I see how it's fun. Because when he initially described that to me, I was like, what? And then he had to take out his phone and show me the game, and I was like, oh, okay, ooh, I see that now.
Yeah, because when they were showing, like, they were explaining it to us, they're like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, okay, so I started playing, I picked a character, and I just wasn't having fun. And then I started playing it like how I would. And I'm not an attacker. I just focused on switching on the lasers and then healing. It's like, I'm not a healer in most games, but for that one, that worked for me. And I really enjoyed it from that onwards. So, yeah, check it out. So, Alex, what is The Good Fight?
So, The Good Fight is the spin-off of The Good Wife, which is a TV series. TV series with Juliana Margulies. It finished a while ago, and I think I spoke about The Good Fight when it came out. So, it is a spin-off with Christine Baranski. Basically, it is the story going forward, but basically without Juliana Margulies, and focusing on Christine Baranski's character, Kush Jumbo's character, and also, what is her name? Ygritte's name?
Oh, yeah, Rose Leslie.
Rose Leslie, and Rose Leslie's character. There you go. Thank you very much.
Nice.
So the three of them are sort of in charge of this TV show, but, you know, as with The Good Fight, it's all about the firm of lawyers working in Chicago, dealing with cases, dealing with the political atmosphere and so on. And I think what has always been interesting about the show, that it always sort of paralleled the events that are happening in America and provided their own little commentary. And I think I did talk about it briefly, like on the last episode, about the shows that do that. Well, this show, I think, is in particular, like, they are not, in their opening sequence, they have this whole thing where things explode. So the things, the objects related to lawyers, like bags and glasses of wine and laptops and casebooks and whatever, they're just like a slow motion explosions, which look pretty cool. But what they added from the last season, they added the TV screens, and on TV screens they put like Trump explode his image, Putin explode his image. So like they are incredibly pro Democratic Party, and they're not at all hiding it. They're actually pushing an agenda, and I think Democratic Party actually features quite heavily in the season as well. There's involvement of the DMC there, and sort of Trump impeachment and so on. So it's kind of really funny parallel universe that's sort of, you can imagine really existing. There's people really existing and the things are really happening. But in general, the series is very interesting because they take some of the key topics and moments throughout the year, like Me Too and other big events like that, and they do an episode on that, commenting and putting their own little spin-off and their own little thought bubble. And beyond that, the casting is great. All the actresses is great. It's performed very well. Rose Leslie, so glad that that's the show she found out after Game of Thrones, because she's really great at it.
Well, she was in, I don't know if you guys remember Utopia.
Yeah.
She was in season 2 of that as well, and she was so good in that. I was so gutted when that show got cancelled, because it was brilliant.
It is, yeah.
Remake? Yeah, they are doing it, and fingers crossed it turns out to be quite good. But Utopia's on 4OD if people want to check it out. It was really, really quite something.
All right. Okay, well, fair enough. But I do really recommend watching The Good Fight. The first season just came out on Amazon Prime, so if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you can watch the first season there already. The second season is in the process of coming out, but you can also purchase the episodes which is what I'm doing. I'm just buying the episodes as they come out on Amazon Prime and catching up with them there. But look, I always loved Good Wife. I thought it was a really great TV show, and The Good Fight is just as excellent. And I usually don't like one-sided political views or like political agendas that are just pushed very hard, but I do like the way that show does it, like, at least in no way does it hide what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, they had like a beautiful song by Jonathan Colton about Trump impeachment that I think everyone should check out Jonathan Colton anyway.
He's amazing. Anyway.
But you should check out that song as well, because it was really, really funny and really nicely done. But yes, check out The Good Fight if you like your lawyery political dramas.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you don't want something political and you want like a dramedy that's freaking weird, I found one on Netflix called Happy.
Oh, I've heard of this. It has, isn't it Elias Koteas is in it?
Elias Koteas? I'm not sure. Hang on. Because I know it's Christopher Maloney.
Oh, yeah, no, no, it's not Elias Koteas then. Sometimes I get those two confused.
Like, it was just really weird since I've been rewatching Red Hot American Summer, like all the things to do with that this week because I was bored. I shouldn't be, but there's plenty of stuff I need to be watching. But hey ho. And Christopher Maloney's in that, and he's utterly ridiculous and fantastic. And then
I always remember him from, was it Special Victims Unit?
Yes.
Not CSI, whatever it is. The Law and Order. That's it.
Yeah, it is Law and Order. Yeah, so this pops up and it's just like happy in big yellow letters with a little blue exclamation point. And it just looks a bit ridiculous. It's like, okay, right. And me and the fellow, we were dozing off. We were like, let's just click this. And the first scene is him shooting himself.
Oh, that's cheery.
But it was in a way, I don't even want to describe it because it was amazing. It's like, as soon as I saw it, like my face just kind of like seized in a gleeful kind of maniacal like contortion, and it's just like, right, we need to turn this off now because we need to watch this properly because this looks ridiculous. The premise is Christopher Maloney plays Nick Sachs, who is an alcoholic ex-cop who is disgraced, as you could probably expect, and he is something's gone on with his new kind of profession as a hitman, and he's got a bit of trouble with the mob. Now, he's also got an issue with a blue donkey unicorn that appears to him and no one else, that is voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Ha!
So this is based on a comic book by Derek Robertson and Grant Morrison from 2012. And it is, like, I've seen the first 2 episodes and I'm in love. Like, there are sections where I have to look away because it is violent. It is a crime dramedy, that is how it's described. And, like, they do not pull any punches, literally. And, like, I'm really surprised. It's rated as a PG, as a 15, not a PG, as a 15. And just looking at it thinking, how is this not an 18? But I love it. So a little girl gets kidnapped and her imaginary friend is this blue donkey unicorn called Happy, and he goes and finds Nick to try and get some help to find her. Like I said, I'm 2 episodes in and I'm in love, and it's ridiculous. It's hyper violent but hyper realistic at the same time. Christopher Maloney is fantastically unhinged as Nick Sachs. If you can, just watch it. Like, even if it's just for that first opening section, it's like, it is maybe a minute long. Just watch that and you will get the entire tone for the show. It is amazing. Seriously, watch Happy. I cannot say how much I love it, and I'm only 2 episodes in. I may change my mind. I hope I don't, because I love it.
That's actually a show that Netflix sort of reminded me of. It occasionally messages me and goes, watch this, because we think you like it. And usually I'm like, get out, you don't know what I like.
Yeah, you can't tell me what to do, Netflix.
I know.
Well, I'm in love with this one. I didn't know it was out. It just like kind of appeared on my feed like the other day. I was like, you know what, let's give this a go. I don't know what the hell it is. And that's how I like accidentally found Big Mouth as well. I was like, okay, Netflix, now you're learning me. Now you know. Like, this is the stuff I need. The weird shit, okay? There we go.
By the way, on a slightly related note, has anyone been watching Lost in Space?
No, we keep meaning to watch it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Like, my mates keep telling me, like, watch it, it's really good. Like, I'll get around to it, but, like, Happy is just, like, that's ridiculous. That one has just, like, sucked me in. Like, Lost in Space seems a little slow for me, but everyone keeps saying, oh, it's amazing, watch it. Like, I'll get around to it.
Well, I have no relationship with the original, or whatever the one that came before it, so I had no idea about it.
So there was one in the 40s or 50s, and then there was the movie with Matt LeBlanc.
God, that movie sucks.
And Gary Oldman.
Anyway,
Yep.
no idea about any of this, had no idea about the story beyond the Lost in Space trailer, knew nothing about it. I did watch the first episode, and I think Tim liked it way more than I did, because he keeps watching it, but to me it was overly dramatized, you know, where every situation is a bit, you know, everything is going too bad.
Too life or death.
Yeah, a bit too life and death, yeah. To the point where you're like,
no.
I'm not on board with urgency because I think you overdid it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I might catch up because I hear lots of great things from people and it maybe just gets a bit better. But I was a bit lackluster in the first episode.
It's just not grabbing me. Like, I keep seeing the trailers, just like, another space thing. It's like, I love space, but it's just like another space weird thing. Like, I'd rather watch something that's a little bit more original and interesting. It's like, I know Happy is based on a comic book, but like, I've never seen it before and it's fantastic.
Cool.
That's all I gotta say. Right, so finally, EGX Rezzed Round-Up.
Yes, so basically, on the last episode, we ran a bit long, so I left 2 games out. And by the way, since last week, we've got a big EGX Roundup write-up with lots of different games, and on my part, Disco Elysium and Nothing to Fear, I have both of those write-ups on BigRedBarel as well, so you can check them out. But very quickly, I just wanted to mention the other 2 games that I wanted to highlight. One of them, again, I wrote previews of Big Crown Showdown by, well, look, I'm a little bit biased to that one, because it comes from our friends at Sold Out. They're publishing it. But it is adorable. I think it's going to become our new substitute for Quiplash or Gang Beasts when we get to the parties. So
fun.
It's basic. It's a puzzle platformer multiplayer where you are knights, sort of trying to navigate the environment, and you basically try just to survive because the environment tried to kill you. Your friends are trying to push you off the edge.
Well, that's not very nice.
Kind of like, but you know what? It's hilarious. The first thing off is that you can kind of charge your attack and push some off the edge, and when you push them, they have such a satisfying pop. The knights pop, and the knights are hilarious. They're like chibi looking things, and you can defend by putting a shield in front of you, and they're cowering behind the shield, and it looks so adorable when they do that. And like the environment is also bright and shiny and so nicely done. It's such a cheerful game, and it's one of those things. It is so much fun playing it because you're like, oh my god, this person kicked me off the edge again. Like that kind of angry thing where some of them are accidentally because you missed a step or you missed a platforming step or you failed a jump or because you didn't see someone coming at you from the back or you finally kicked someone right in a trap. Like it's really hilarious. I completely sucked at it. I came last the time I played it, but it's so much fun. I would definitely say that if you have platforming experience, which obviously I don't because I don't play platformers.
Yeah, me neither.
You would be better off at this game. But winning at this game is not where the enjoyment comes from. The enjoyment comes from all 4 of you playing on the screen and just having a big old laugh. It's like, game beasts. When I'm punching things around, I don't care if I'm winning. It's just fun doing it. This is exactly the same thing. It's just fun doing this. Playing this game, doing this game. It looks adorable. You can have different hats, and one of the hats is an octopus, which immediately wins me over. And I'm like, yes, I'm on board with this. But yeah, I think it's got local and online multiplayer as well. So check that out. And then the final one, actually from the same stand, is a Mother Gunship.
Oh yeah, this looks pretty cool.
It is. It's an arcade shooter where you basically look. Here's where I like that the shooters finally realize that the good thing is to have a sense of humor because you're sort of guided by a general who I think is a frog. from a memory, he was a frog. Anyway, it was really funny. But basically, you're the alien ship and you're killing aliens. That's it. You come in, you shoot things. The shooting is pretty great. The awesome thing is that you can go and modify your weapon, and you can create the most craziest customizations of weapons. You can basically put whatever you can imagine. That's how you can augment your gun, and you can make anything you want out of it, basically, in that little room. And I have to give them props that they allowed to do that because we played so many demos where you could go to upgrade your weapons and then the demo required you to like spend coins or whatever, and you're like, this is a demo, I don't have any coins to spend, therefore I can't upgrade my weapon. What is the point of it being there? You know?
Yeah.
And then this one you're like, no, you can do whatever you want, create the craziest gun you can, and then go off and kill off the big alien. And we had Joe, you know Christo, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so Christo, he's a bit, he likes to do things right. I think he spent 20 or 30 minutes creating his gun. And we were just standing behind him, rolling our eyes and face palming us and go, Christo, go shoot things, please.
And he's like, no, it's not perfect yet.
No, I need to get it just right. So that was great.
That's commendable.
That's a sort of my little EGX Rezzed Round-Up that since I missed a couple of games last time.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, Big Crown Showdown, I wrote a preview, and Mother Gunship, Bleezy wrote a little something for the roundup, so if you want to read more about it, go there. I'll obviously all the relevant links will be in the description, blah 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 blah.
Fantastic. So that is everything for episode 134 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak. We've got a few little shout outs. So shout outs to Will Driver, Gabriel, Stingo. Anyone else?
I don't think so.
Fantastic. So if you would like to get in touch, you can do so on the forums, BigRedBarel.com. You can do so on Twitters at BigRedBarel, use the hashtag Geek Speak, or you can use our personal Twitters. I'm at the Sweet Shrimp.
I'm a _.
I'm at Pixel Ritual.
You can also go to Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedBarel, leave us a comment on there and join the Gamer Nights group. You can also go to iTunes, leave us a little review on there, or go onto YouTube, because these are posted up on YouTube. You can also go to Tabletop Tuesday. Every Tuesday there's a new featured game which you could win. You don't even have to win your round. You just play it, let us know, and your name gets put into the prize draw. Alex, what is the game this week?
Well, before I say that, incidentally, today, the 28th, as we're recording, is International Tabletop Day.
Oh, it is! That's right!
So
Yeah.
happy International Tabletop Day, everyone.
Yes.
I wish I could have been
Happy
playing
day.
games, but did I mention I have deadlines? I'm not sure I mentioned I have deadlines and I'm stressed. No, okay. Well, I have deadlines, people.
Oh, you poor thing.
But yes, but on Tuesday's gonna go as usual, and the feature game that we have is called Cobra Paw, which is sort of, if you've seen Hive Tiles, this looks slightly different, but the gameplay is obviously different, but it looks really cool. Should be a quick party game. Looks really nice.
Fantastic. You can also go on our Discord, so you can join us on the Big Red Barrel Discord chat. And if you want to know anything about the game from Tabletop Tuesday, go to bigredbarel.com, top left-hand corner of the page. There's a static post, and you can find all the information there. Have I missed anything?
No.
I think that's it.
But I'm gonna apologize preemptively for this episode coming late, because my deadline is this Thursday. I think it's the 3rd of May. And I not only got not only one deadline, 2 deadlines out of all my free deadlines this year. 2 of them fall on the 3rd of May, so I will be busy and I'll be able to edit. So unless someone else volunteers to edit, this is gonna come out after I submit.
Unfortunately, I'm in Amsterdam.
And there's just silence.
So there you go. So this is gonna be, I obviously will post about this on Twitter, so I will everyone who's looking forward to it. I'm sorry guys, but unless you want to fail my
Priorities.
degree,
Yes,
it will have to be
don't
late.
fail your degree.
Yep.
Don't
Yeah.
fail your degree.
Look, I don't play God of War because I'm trying not to fail my degree.
Oh, God of War. See, I had to stop playing to come and record this, and I've never felt so much resentment for you guys ever. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, shall we wrap this up so you can go back to it? And
Yes,
Alex
please.
can go cry into her laptop. All right, so we wish Alex all the best of luck, and you're going to nail it, girl.
Thanks.
Yeah, totally.
Trying.
For episode 134 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, I've been Lauren.
I have deadlines.
I'm already out of here going to play God of War. Bye!
Okay, bye.
Bye.
But before I have deadlines, I'm gonna watch Infinity War. Ha!
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.